Hello and welcome to gusmcdollgames. I'm Nick McDowell, and today we're continuing the Allied Grand Campaign in Close Combat: A Bridge Too Far, a game based on the Battle of Arnhem, Operation Marketgarden. In this series we use the missions in the Allied Grand Campaign to illustrate one or more aspects of World War II infantry minor tactics at the company level and below. Each episode we conduct basic mission analysis, develop and analyse possible courses of action, then decide and execute the plan in real time, followed by lessons learned. Please remember to like the video and subscribe for more great strategy and tactics content. In this episode we're in the Eindhoven sector, the Schijndel tactical area of responsibility. Our objective is the Schijndel Sand Dunes. The sand dunes are great cover, so try and take them if you can. Clear the town and keep it open for 30 Corps. Strong German forces are located around the dunes. Let's examine our forces. Airborne BAR teams are the core of the American Airborne Divisions. They use an automatic rifle, semi-automatic rifles, and hand grenades. The team leader is armed with a carbine. Use them on the front line, but they should run or hide from tanks. Airborne rifle teams use semi-automatic rifles and hand grenades. The team leader is armed with a carbine. Use them on the front lines and to hold victory locations. They are useless against tanks. Airborne recon teams are the eyes and ears of the American Airborne Divisions. They are armed with submachine guns and grenades. Use these teams to scout enemy positions and to perform behind-the-lines operations. Airborne 60mm light mortar teams also contain semi-automatic rifles and hand grenades. Because mortars can shoot over obstacles, position these teams behind buildings or trees. Use them to lay smoke screens. Airborne 30 caliber light machine gun teams include semi-automatic rifles and hand grenades. Position these teams in multi-story buildings or locations with long lines of sight so they can suppress enemy infantry. Airborne ad hoc rifle teams are low-quality replacement teams. They use semi-automatic rifles and hand grenades. The team leader is armed with a submachine gun. Use them to free up higher quality teams for other duties. Next, let's look at the map and do some mission analysis. I will develop a plan and then execute it in the game. Our mission is to clear the town in order to secure the main supply route for 30 Corps. We have an understrength company from the 101st Airborne Division, consisting of 2 BAR squads with light machine guns, a rifle squad, an ad hoc rifle team, a recon squad with a 60mm light mortar and 30 caliber medium machine gun in support. The top of the map is north. I have marked 5 areas of interest. Number 1, the row of buildings to the east, which provide a natural line of resistance leading to the 3-story buildings overlooking a small bridge. Number 2, an open area to the north between the eastern buildings and the main town, overlooked by multi-story buildings in the town, and which is an obstacle to movement because it has little cover. Number 3, an open area to the south, bisected by a small creek able to be crossed on foot, but also an obstacle to movement because it has little cover or concealment. Number 4, the urban area, in particular the first row of 3-story buildings facing east and overlooking the avenue of approach into the town. The streets are fire lanes. The multi-story buildings give good observation and fields of fire and are natural strong points. And number 5, the Schijndel Dunes west of the town, running lengthwise north-south and presenting a series of fire lanes and crests. Excellent defensive terrain. I assess the enemy will have up to 3 platoons organised for defence. The enemy is likely to place their main platoon and company headquarters in the line of buildings overlooking the open area to the north. This gives them observation and control of the avenues of approach to the town across the open area or down the road. They will probably have another platoon in the multi-story buildings to the north, and the remainder of their forces in reserve in the town. German doctrine means they will seek to counterattack to retake the area east of the dunes. My force is simply too weak to dislodge a company-sized group from prepared defensive positions in complex urban terrain, and I risk being overwhelmed and losing not only this objective, but the Schijndel road and landing zone as well. Time to go on the defensive, at least for now. I will use the line of buildings east of the town as my main line of resistance, anchored on either end by fortified supporting points in the multi-story buildings. The linear frontage enables me to maximise the firepower from my understrength company into the engagement area to my west. The supporting points protect my flanks, and I have good internal lines of communication using the road behind the buildings. I will place my first platoon, consisting of a BAR squad, rifle squad, and recon squad, in the multi-story buildings to the south. These will control the road and bridge and give me observation of both open areas. I'll place my second platoon, consisting of a BAR squad and ad hoc rifle team, in the single-storey buildings to the north. My medium machine gun will occupy an attack by fire position in the northernmost supporting point, with fields of fire across the open area into all of the German front line and covering the road and bridge. The machine gun is my main effort. I will also have my light mortar in a support by fire position to the rear, ready to place final protective fires into the open area to my west. The enemy's most likely course of action is to counterattack, with their main thrust along the road, across the bridge, and into the left flank of my position to turn my flank and roll up my position. They may also have a supporting attack to the north against my right flank. I will counter this with mortar fire to disrupt their attack, machine gun fire into their flanks, and my strongest platoon to defend. The enemy's most dangerous course of action is a counterattack flanking me from the south, with a supporting attack along the road, both attacks concentrated against my left flank. I have marked an area of interest with the white rectangle. If I see indications of troops in this area, it is a warning that an attack is likely from this direction. This will trigger a decision point for me to shift troops from my right flank to reinforce my left flank using my internal lines. All defensive preparations are related to the main line of resistance. The basis of the defence is constituted by the fortified supporting points of the main position of resistance, forming closed works organised for all-round defence. We have 30 minutes to achieve our objectives. I will now move my troops into position and execute the plan in real time. Let me know in the comments below what you think of the various courses of action and if you have identified a viable alternative. If you want to speed things up, just skip ahead every few seconds and see the battle unfold. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more great strategy and tactics content. And so we begin.
Team redeploy. Team redeploy.
First platoon moves to occupy its defensive position.
Team redeploy.
As I start to move my troops into position, I spot a German Schützen squad in the open area to the north. Using a shell hole as an improvised foxhole, he is taking pot shots at first platoon. I also start to receive fire from one of the buildings in the area marked Company Headquarters, where I expect to see the enemy's main platoon.
Team redeploy.
I'm not returning fire, as I want to keep my troops hidden as long as possible. My BAR squad starts receiving fire from the 3-storey building I need to anchor my southern supporting point. Grenades are thrown. It turns out to be a single German sharpshooter in a sentry position. He doesn't last long. My BAR squad moves to occupy the building. Meanwhile, the Schützen squad is withdrawing to cover, so the remainder of 1st Platoon opens fire to pin them in the open. I spot another Schützen squad moving between buildings in the enemy's main position. They start firing. My troops go to ground again. I'm hoping to deceive the Germans into thinking my forces are even weaker than they are, and so lure them into a counterattack across open ground. But this takes a while and requires patience on my part. It gives me a quiet moment to explain why I've chosen to go defensive here for the first time in the campaign. This is the 6th battle so far in the campaign, and we are still in day 1. The first 5 battles all had something in common. In each case I had understrength companies of airborne light infantry, with no armour and no artillery other than light mortars. In each case I was conducting fairly aggressive assaults to seize the initiative. In each case I was attacking prepared German defensive positions and suffered heavy casualties. And in each case I was doing so to seize key terrain such as a road or a bridge for follow-on forces before the enemy could react or reinforce. In essence, I was trading lives to buy time for 30 Corps to advance. But this is different. Despite the briefing, I do not need to seize the dunes. I just need to deny this area to the Germans so they can't counterattack the Schijndel Road, the main supply route for 30 Corps. So there is no need for an aggressive assault or to trade lives for time. Instead, I need to consolidate my defences and keep my understrength company intact until I am reinforced or relieved. I locate a second sharpshooter, this time in the main position. The Schützen squad starts to withdraw to cover, so my squads open up to pin them in the open again. I call in a mortar immediate neutralisation mission to keep the snipers suppressed. I could have been in real trouble if I had tried to attack. The firefight starts to intensify, as the second Schützen squad gives covering fire to the first. I need to preserve my ammunition, so I go to ground again. My recon team, however, keeps their eyes open. I am still concerned about a possible attack from the south, while I am distracted to the north. This was the enemy's most dangerous course of action. The battle settles down. I'm happy for the enemy to expend ammunition, but I need to preserve mine. I check firing the mortar. Then I switch targets to suppress the 1st Schützen squad. I still have just under 30 HE rounds. So far, the enemy has only detected 1 platoon, and my 2nd platoon and medium machine gun remain hidden for now. I check fire the mortars with a little over 20 rounds HE remaining. Time to go quiet and act suppressed. Desultory fire continues from the 2nd Schützen squad. I am hoping the enemy will think they outnumber me and feel confident enough to assault. I check my teams. All seems well. I put a couple of mortar rounds in to keep things interesting. The 1st Schützen squad has only 2 members and 1 of them is injured. The 2nd Schützen squad has only 4 members. Perhaps the enemy is under strength too. Or perhaps they have a strong reserve manoeuvring for the attack. I decide to fight for more information. I check fire the mortar. On my right flank, the ad hoc rifle team from my 2nd platoon starts firing at the Schützen to provoke a reaction, a practice known as reconnaissance by fire. Then I move my recon team to the south to get better observation on the area of interest around the creek line. If the enemy aren't going to use it, perhaps I can. Then I spot the 1st Schützen squad, 2 soldiers, advancing towards 2nd platoon's position. What on earth are they up to? Are they probing? I don't want to reveal my medium machine gun yet, so my rifle team starts to engage them and the ad hoc rifle team joins in.
Team redeployed.
Rifle fire eliminates 1 soldier and the other goes to ground. Meanwhile, my recon team is in position to the south and can't see any enemy in the area of interest. I decide to move them forward to check out the creek line and see if they can get into town for a closer look at the enemy. Time to check fire again and stay quiet. In the south, the recon team are crawling towards the creek line. The remaining soldier in the 1st Schützen squad is injured and suppressed. All of a sudden, I spot an MG42 squad. Then the 2nd Schützen squad breaks cover, sprinting for the bridge. The counterattack is on. 1st platoon opens up. The medium machine gun identifies a Panzerschreck moving in the open to the north, conducting a supporting attack. Second platoon opens a crossfire, targeting a sharpshooter who is snuck within metres of my defensive position. First platoon joins them. The machine gun opens up on the enemy MG42. The sharpshooter is neutralised, and fire switches to the second Schützen squad in the open. The first Schützen squad starts to withdraw and is eliminated. The mortar targets the MG42 position with an immediate neutralisation mission. And just like that, it is all over. The battle ended because the Germans were routed from the map. The Allies gained control of the area, but the Germans are expected to launch a counterattack later. I have made expected progress. I suffered no casualties and inflicted 9 casualties on the enemy. Let's examine casualties on both sides. First, the Americans. Not even a scratch. This demonstrates the importance of a well-organised defensive position. Next, the Germans. They lost a Schützen squad, 2 Scharfschützen and a Panzerschreck, and suffered casualties in their remaining Schützen and MG42 teams. Taking the defensive was clearly the best course of action, but you should always try to learn in victory as in defeat. I was not patient enough in the defence and unmasked 2nd Platoon and my mortar unnecessarily. Had I kept quiet longer, the enemy might have attacked sooner. Let me know what you think in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and donate, and stay tuned for the next episode.